guys, it's Jacqueline and welcome back to another speed build in The Sims 4, and today we are actually doing something a tiny bit different. I know I keep saying that because I'm doing different things lately, but I'm actually doing another build challenge today. So I am doing a shell challenge, and this is Jess Harts Shell Challenge, or the current shell challenge that's going on right now, and the theme of this is Gothic, as you can possibly tell so far. But I actually wasn't planning on doing this challenge at first, but then I saw on Twitter that she had extended the days that it was valid or that you could enter it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, because previously it was supposed to end on August 2nd. I mean, even though right now this is technically before then, so I could have still entered anyway, but she extended it till August 6th. So if you want to do this, I think this should be up before August 6th, in which case you can obviously go and try this build challenge out for yourself. But basically, I wasn't planning on doing this because I don't really feel comfortable with the style at all. It's well, the style is Gothic, which leaves room, a lot of space. You could do like Carpenter's Gothic or like spooky, you know, there's some room for interpretation there. But I frankly don't really feel comfortable with any of that style, but I kind of felt like forced into the spooky theme with vampires and everything like that, because this lot is a 30 by 20 or 20 by 30, but the thing is it's actually like wide on the front, and then the length or width, I don't know how to describe this, but it's just rotated away than most 30 by 20s aren't. So it's really difficult to find one where you could do a Gothic style house, no matter what type of Gothic it is, where it would fit in. That doesn't have this lot size besides vampires, the vampires world, which is Forgotten Hollow. So that's what we're doing today. We're in Forgotten Hollow and we're building this house, and I actually end up liking it. It's for a vampire family, but I was kind of thinking that they maybe have like a regular sim living with them, because honestly I don't really know what vampires require. Like, there's no coffins in here. If they need coffins, I don't know how functional this would be, but I still think it ends up looking pretty cute. Hopefully, honestly, the inside is kind of a mess, but the outside I'm relatively proud of, because the only thing I really know about anything like this is like pretty much what I went into with the basic knowledge. I was like, okay, high-pitched roofs, that's what we're gonna do, and it's gonna turn out great. And then we tried. I think it ends up okay. But right here, I was just trying to add some variation to the walls, because obviously the entire thing is made of brick right here. And that's just not really very pleasant to look at, so I wanted to add something else. And I end up adding the shingling from Get Famous, which is what we're doing right now, in this kind of like navy blue color, which I think looks really pretty because it's still dark and it like matches the color palette of this build really well, but it just adds some more texture and diversity. And then, by the way, also just there, to add some more detailing to the roofing there, I have obviously the gabled roof, and basically what I did was use 2 shelves from Cats and Dogs to make a little like indent type thing into it. I'm not really describing it very well, but you can see what I did. But that pretty much wraps up the exterior for the beginning. I obviously go out and do more landscaping and everything like that at the end, but I usually do the interior before I do all the landscaping and stuff, so that's pretty much what we're doing right now. And honestly, the interior I'm still kind of questioning a lot of my decisions on. Like, I tried my best, but I really don't know that much about this style, like I said, and so everything is pretty questionable, but you know what, I did try. And one issue that I felt in particular, that you can let me know if it bothers you or not, but I really don't like to have multiple like different shades of wood in the same room, but I had white for like all the doors and stuff in this build, and all the windows and everything like that, but then I felt like it didn't make sense to have white as the main furniture color inside, because that would just be way too light and airy to make sense. And like outside, you kind of need something light to contradict like everything that's so dark and gloomy. But on the inside, you know, everything can be really bright and cheerful if you make it that way. So yeah, I was kind of questioning my decision with the white doors and everything, and I actually went back and changed it off camera, but then I changed it back to white because I just felt like it looked so much better from the outside that way. So that is what we end up going with, but that is just one issue that I did have. But anyway, right here, we're just making the entryway. I do at first make it stone, but later on I changed the floor, the wood flooring, or I changed it to wood flooring because I feel like that looks a lot better, and it just blends in better to the rest of the house and everything like that. So I didn't want this to look too out of place. But anyway, right here, I just put in a carpet really fast, and we actually moved on to the living room right after I put in this flooring, which was pretty quick. This was honestly like a struggle building this in real life, because like I said, I keep saying this, but I don't know a lot about the style. So everything whenever I was building this in real life, I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. But I feel like it turned out nice. Like I wouldn't have a problem playing in this, but let me know how you feel about it also, because I don't know. I can either be like really critical of my own builds, or I can be like, yes, this is the best thing I've ever done, and it's like hideous. So yeah, I don't really trust my own opinion. But anyway, this was actually, like I said, this is a shell challenge, which I thought would be a really good idea to build or do, because I'm pre-recording right now since I'm going away, and I didn't have a lot of time to do something, so it was like, yes, shell challenge, it'll be great, and I can do it really fast, and then that'll be fun. But not that it wasn't fun, but it was not fast, because this footage, when I cut everything down, it actually comes out to like 3 hours, which is ridiculous, because first of all, how did it take me 3 hours to like furnish? And I mean, technically a shell challenge is still like, you know, you're still doing most of the stuff that you would do if you're just building regularly. But the thing is, one of the hardest parts of building for me is just coming up with the shape of the house and everything, but you don't really see that much on camera, because if I don't know where I'm going, I usually scrap it and start over, which doesn't actually happen that often. I don't usually scrap stuff, but still, you get what I'm saying. So I thought that this would take a shorter time, but then it didn't, but I still had a lot of fun with it. It just, like, I took a very long time, like a concerningly long time to do this. So yeah, but to be fair, I did clutter this up a fair amount, not like overly cluttered, not more than I usually clutter builds, but it is also sort of larger, because they tend to do builds for like single sims or small families, and they have smaller spaces. But I mean, this is a larger space than usual, but I still think it looks nice. Also, it might just look larger because I have the bottom floor on medium wall height. I just said what does that even mean? Okay, I am having trouble Englishing. I just recorded a voiceover like right before this. So yeah, I'm kind of out of words at this point, but honestly this one is doing better than that one so far. That one I don't even really talk about the build that much, so yeah. But right here, in the living room, we are working on just putting some clutter on it. I sized down all of these little trunks that you can find in the miscellaneous decoration section, and I just think they look really cute for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, I just put those there along with the little skeleton fossil. I use tons and tons of fossils in this house, and I also use the little kind of heads that like, or not heads necessarily, but like things that look like they're floating in liquid, because they just give me vampire vibes. I don't know if they're actually from the vampire pack, but oh, by the way, Vampire Pack and Get Together, the Vampire Pack, Get Together, and Strangerville are the most important packs for this build, and besides that, you should actually be able to get away with not having a lot of different packs, because a lot of the other stuff will mostly just be clutter, but a lot of the stuff mainly is from base game and then the packs that I just listed. So that is good for you if you would like to download this and you don't have a lot of packs. Although I'm not really, like, if I was choosing packs to buy, I really would not choose those ones if I had a limited number of packs, but you know, it's all good. Those were just the packs that, you know, are usually or in that style that I was trying to build in, which is sort of Victorian. That's the other thing about building in this Gothic style. I don't know like what the line is between Victorian and Gothic, or like Carpenter's Gothic, because this is still sort of like American Gothic styled architecture, but it's not really like bright or colorful or anything like that. But I don't know, like I just don't know what the difference is between Victorian and Gothic. Like what is it? Please tell me. But I don't know, I'm sure like actual architectural knowledgeable people know that. But I really, like, I don't know anything about architecture. I kind of just build in The Sims, and I'm like, this is the style I'm calling it, guys. Do you like it? So yeah, hopefully you like this. But anyway, we're here in the kitchen now. So I ended up using these teal cabinets, which are from Vampires. But the wood is teal, and then the top, or the stone portion, is cream, which I think actually looks really nice. It's just like a nice lighter color, and then I obviously use this brown backsplash because I just felt like that was a nice contrast. This actually isn't a color scheme that I would have trouble with using in a regular house, but I just kind of wanted something that I was more familiar with to use in this house, because the color scheme, especially in the living room, is just, I still don't really know if I like it or not, but yeah, it's really questionable. So hopefully you like it. But right here, I do end up putting a lot of clutter in the kitchen. I have like an entire shelf with the weird bottled things floating in liquid on them and other things. Ooh, I'm pausing for a second. What was I doing? I don't know. Yeah, that's actually what this shelf is. Ends up having all this stuff on it, which you'll see me putting on right now. And then I also put a lot of other clutter around, which I think is nice. Honestly, the entire kitchen, I wasn't really sure what to put in it because I don't know if vampires even need kitchens because they eat the plasma, right? So I was very confused, but I ended up putting a kitchen in anyway. One, because I was kind of thinking there would be a non-vampire sim living here, and two, I kind of had this idea in my head that they would like lure the sims that they're going to drink the plasma from to this kitchen, and then they would like drink their plasma here. So there's kind of like some tools and other creepy things that made sense to me to have if you were gonna like go and bite sims and drink their plasma here. And then also this thing that I want to mention really fast, I put this little basket, this jungle adventure basket, which is like empty, in the middle of the counter pretty much. And then I also got all of these little plasma fruits, which are these things that apparently, according to the buy catalog at least, they have similar properties to plasma packets. So I got those and I just put them in the little basket, like kind of how like in regular houses you would have a fruit basket. You know, it's a plasma fruit basket. I just think it looks cute. And then I put one of those little centerpieces from Seasons, I put in the dark purple color. I actually used several of those out in the living room in the dark red color. And I put that around with some fossils because I use a lot of fossils here. I think that ends up looking really nice. Just like a nice little centerpiece on the counter because I wanted this to look like fairly fancy. Like obviously it's pretty cluttered, or fairly cluttered. There's a lot of stuff here that you wouldn't necessarily expect to see in a really luxurious home, but there's also, I kind of thought it would be for more wealthy vampires just based on the facade and everything. Also, there's a fire extinguisher on top of the fridge. I really don't know why, but it kind of played into my whole idea of like they lure people here and then drink their plasma. So like I don't know why you would have a fire set, but I don't know. My entire logic for this house is faulty, but we're fine. Everything's fine. I still like the way do I like the way it turns out? I'm just gonna stop talking now, but I have to keep talking because it's a voiceover. This is stressful. I've had a really stressful day because so basically today I woke up kind of late, like later than I wanted to, and then I finished building this house, which like I said took a long time. So I had pretty much the exterior done, and then I furnished the entire interior today, basically. So I finished doing that, and then I also finished a different build, which is the build that went up earlier this week. And then I edited both of them down, and then I just voiced over the other one, and now I'm voicing over this one. And I also had an eye doctor's appointment that I went to, and that was stressful. I mean, for really stupid reasons. It was stressful because I'm getting new glasses, and I have glasses right now. They're like Ray-Bans, and I just had this entire crisis because I was like, no, I can't get new glasses. My glasses are my personality, and like if I get new glasses, what will I be? Like, who will I be? So I did end up getting new glasses. In case you were wondering, you probably don't care at all, but yeah, so that was kind of yikes. And then I have other stuff I need to do. I just, ooh. And then I also had this thing where, there's this club that I'm in at school, and I'm like an officer, which if you don't know what that is, basically it's just like an official of the club, you know, you like do stuff for it. So I'm an officer of this club, and then there's all this stuff that I have to do towards the end of the summer. I mean, not that I have to do, but like meetings to attend and things like that. But I've had 2 so far that have been scheduled, but I've had scheduling conflicts for both of them, and it's very stressful because like I obviously, first of all, I need to go to those meetings because like I need to be a reliable person, but also just like I hate trying to schedule things, and I hate trying to work out conflicts in scheduling. And also, I hate texting in general because, like, just texting etiquette kind of stresses me out because, like, how do you tell if you're supposed to be formal or not, especially in this specific scenario? But, yeah, that entire ordeal was not fun either. And all of this sounds, like, really insignificant, by the way. I get that, but it's just all coming together and causing me a little bit of stress. So that's what's going on right now. But, here's the office, the vampire office. I don't know what they do in here. I was kind of thinking that they do some type of occult stuff. I don't know. I was sort of wishing that we had Realm of Magic right now, because I'm assuming we'll get like witches and warlocks and wizards and all that stuff. in Realm of Magic, in which case I was thinking they could do enchantments in here, which kind of, I get those vibes from that little like book stand that is in the corner of the office. So I can't wait for that pack, by the way. I'm so excited to see like what it is, because I'm expecting, by the way, that we'll get a new world. I hope we do, otherwise I'll kind of be disappointed, but I don't know. Not that I necessarily expect it with game packs, but I just feel like, how do you blend occults like witches and stuff into regular society? It doesn't really make sense. So I'm expecting that we'll get a new world, and I'm really excited to see what that is. And then we're also just, obviously, for the new gameplay, and build items are going to be so awesome. And I cannot wait to build some like really crammed, sort of, you know, cluttered and everything, little offices, what am I saying? Little cottages and stuff for witches and wizards and everything like that. So I'm very excited for that. And yeah, that is my feelings on Realm of Magic. Have I not talked about that yet? I don't think I have. But I'm running out of things to talk about in the build here, so I'm going to talk about something else that's been happening recently in the Sims community for a second. So unless you've been living under a rock, you're probably aware that there's a new life simulation game that a ton of footage for it has been dropped and stuff, called Paralives. And I am very excited for this game. And I don't want to get my expectations too high, honestly, because first of all, let's just acknowledge for a second, there's like one guy working on this. Like, it's not like a whole team. Like, it's not like The Sims where EA and Maxis and this entire team of people and there's specialists for everything is working on this. Like, this is one guy who's making this entire game. So obviously it's a pretty heavy workload. And especially, I mean, I expect that he'll make a lot of money off of this, but it is an indie game, and from what I know, the price is going to be pretty cheap, so it's not going to be like The Sims where it's rolling in tons and tons of money. I mean, The Sims already makes like a lot more money than they actually need, but it's not going to be like that, so it is going to be relatively cheap. So I'm kind of worried for this guy. Like, obviously he's investing a lot of time into this project, and there's a lot of people putting a lot of pressure on him to do stuff. So I don't know. I feel like if that were me, I would be very stressed out, and I don't know how well it would go. But maybe he's just better at handling that pressure. But there's basically just, they've confirmed tons and tons and tons of different like features to the game that are going to be new features that have not, or either have not been released in The Sims 4, or they were for expansion packs, which is like really expensive DLC. So if they're releasing them in this base game, which is what sounds like it's going to be happening with Paralives, obviously that's going to be like a big thing. So it's like pets and seasons and horses and cars, and it sounds like open world, and also possibly being able to place slots of any size wherever you want. So all of that sounds like, you know, amazing, like almost too good to be true. But I do kind of want to believe it, because The Sims is like, I mean, as a franchise, obviously, like, they make money, that's what they do. It's not like they're here to serve people, but it sounds like this guy is a lot more driven by pleasing, you know, what people want, which I wouldn't be surprised by, because, you know, indie games, like I said. But I'm really excited for this, but I just don't want to get my hopes up too high, because I feel like, again, if you're expecting everything, it might not be as good as you think, but also, I don't want to put too much pressure on this creator, because, you know, obviously they've got a lot of stuff to do, and it must be really stressful having all of these like Sim stands like down their backs being like, is there going to be this feature? Will there be this feature? So I don't know. Yeah, but they have also confirmed that there's not going to be anything like really negative in the game, which I think is good. It's going to be pretty like Sims level of appropriateness. So there's not going to be a lot of things that are really, you know, negative. I don't want to get into specifics, but, you know, a lot of video games, they've got a lot of really graphic stuff, violent stuff, the type of things that you don't necessarily want to be thinking about when you're playing a happy game like The Sims. So I'm glad that they're not going to be introducing any of that stuff. I'm not sure if there's been any word on occults yet. I just thought of that since we're obviously doing a vampire house right now. But I don't know. If you want more information, you can watch there's some really good videos on it right now. I know Fantasia has done one, as well as Pixelate has done several, I think. Those are the two like main Sims news providers that I know of. But there's obviously a lot of others, so you can check out other people's videos as well. But let me know how you feel about that also, because I don't know. I am not sure. So far, I've really only seen like positive feedback from it. Mostly everybody's just really excited for it. and that tends to be where I'm leaning towards too. I haven't really seen much negative, so hopefully that is how it stays, because I'd be really, really sad if this didn't turn out exactly like The Sims, because the thing is, obviously, at least from the tidbits that I've seen so far, graphics are not as high quality, which is exciting because it means it'll be able to run on lower grade computers, which is really good, especially for me. I play on a laptop, so I'd be really excited to be able to play on a lower grade computer with this and not have it do so much do so much damage to my computer, which is good. And also they've got all these new build tools, and I've lost track of what I was saying. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stop talking about Pure Lives there because I really don't remember what I was saying. But anyway, here we are in the master bathroom. This is the bathroom, the only bathroom that I keep in this build, because there's only actually 2 bathrooms the way that I end up floor planning it. That's another thing about shell challenges, is that it's really difficult to floor plan them, because at least personally when I'm building, I kind of make the floor plan up as I build the exterior of the house. But obviously when, like, that's all in your head, you know, it's not like you draw the rooms as you are building. So it's kind of difficult to, you know, like, get into somebody else's mind and try to figure out what they were thinking while they were making this entire shell. Also, it's entirely possible that Jess has just made this entire shell, like, very difficult and, you know, hard to build around. I didn't find it that hard. I just found it, you know, as hard as I usually find floor plans because I'm not very good at them. But, you know, I think it turned out okay. I wish I could have made a few more bedrooms, because honestly this house, like, looks like it should be very big, but when you actually get into it, it really isn't. So, you know, if you've done the shell challenge, let me know if you also had the same problem. But yeah, I'm still pretty happy with it. But anyway, outside, here we are. I've pretty much finished the interior of the build at this point, so I'm just raising up some vines from Vampire Game Pack, my bad, to put on the chimney here, just because I think that really adds some detail to it, and I like the way it looks. I put more greenery in this probably than I should have, because if you look around the world, Forgotten Hollow, everything is very barren and sparse, and it's not really, you know, there's not a lot of plants everywhere and stuff like that. But I still figured that I could put a fair amount of landscaping around here, because maybe they just really like their landscaping, you know? I mean, I say that it's a lot. It's really not. Like, it's one of the most barren houses I've ever done in terms of landscaping, but I still feel like it's kind of intense for this area, especially because there's already 4 trees. And these trees, by the way, came with the shell, the 4 pine trees. I did add 1 or 2, I can't remember how many. But there were 4 pine trees just around the corners of the lot that came with the shell, and I think it said that you're not supposed to delete anything. I hope that I didn't break any rules in this challenge, by the way, because I'm pretty sure that I didn't. But if I did, I'll feel really bad. I hope nobody gets mad at me for it. But if you notice me breaking any, please point it out in the comments. I didn't really read the challenge to you, so you don't actually know the rules, but if you do know the rules, you know, let me know. But anyway, right here, I was putting some rocks around these trees because there's a lot of rocks in the surroundings of this world, and I thought it made sense to put some rocks around. I put a lot of boulders around the house as well, and then I also put this little piece of shrubbery down here. I do landscape a fair amount with the items that we got with the new cheat that was unlocked in the recent update, which you can unlock by opening the cheat bar, and then the cheat is in my description, but you open the cheat bar and then you type bb.showhiddenobjects and then bb.showliveeditobjects, and this will just give you access to a ton of new objects that are really great. So yeah, I used a lot of those to landscape, which just made sense because I think there's only like 4 or 5 or something like that actual items for landscaping that came with the Vampire Game Pack, but there's a lot more if you use that cheat. So that is just really helpful to add more detail and stuff. But anyway, out here I just added this little sitting area and also a drink tray. This is actually the drink tray from Spa Day. I'm not really sure why I put a drink tray out there because I'm not even sure if vampires can actually have drinks, but I still think it's a nice detail, you know? It's about the details. And then I just raised up a hanging plant here because I've been obsessed with those, because how could you not be? Because I've made, if you've watched some of my previous speed builds before this update, I've made a lot of hanging plants, but now that we actually have them, of course, it's much better. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the build here, so hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you did, you can let me know by leaving a like and comment. And then also, if you like this build and you want to see more, you can subscribe to my channel and click the bell for notifications. And then if you want to play in this build, it will be on the gallery, and my origin ID is Thatsjaylin. Thank you so much for watching. That's it. Bye.